isn't this just fantastic?
Captain's Log, subdate 20914.1. The region of Cacopolis that we are now travelling through is apparently a hotspot for white whales. That blasted hippo thingy that chased us while we were in our shuttle pod had better not be tracking us. In a number of exhibitions of stupid people, and this week's at Twitter, it doesn't really matter. In an EOS or a twat video, I have covered TikTok on a number of occasions. That would be because of the American woman making English cuisine. It was an obvious joke, but it was pure blasphemy. I'm not going to hurt your ears, don't worry. I've also covered it because there were incidents. Those incidents paint a rather damning light on TikTok that is already being tarnished with a number of rather damning lights. To give a very brief summary of what TikTok is, it is a site, an app, many people use as a means to create memes through video formats. It, when I first heard about it, reminded me a lot of Musical.ly and Vine. So if you take a progression of Vine to Musical.ly to TikTok, TikTok is Vine and Musical.ly put together. That is a massive oversimplification, I know, but for the most part, it is accurate. Many would, and rightly point out, those on Vine lacked a certain talent because they had 6 seconds to tell a joke. Understandably, this didn't work out so well, but many of them did migrate to YouTube. With the rise of TikTok, many of those people are also on TikTok or moved exclusively to TikTok, because you can monetize on TikTok if you hit certain milestones. According to one of my patrons who actually has a TikTok called Dr. Rosemary, I'll link it down below. Go give her a follow if you're at all interested in following her. Well, I don't know what it is she does actually, it's kind of strange. But back to the boomer mentality of it. TikTok appears, and has appeared to many that don't use the site and don't care for it, to be a version of Vine where those who have a limited capacity to be funny go there to be funny. That's not to say they're not. Many are. But there are also flexers. I know one YouTuber of the F2 freestylers called Jeremy Lynch, and he is a flexer. He just likes to show everyone that he has a Lamborghini. I have no idea where the comedy in this is. Granted, it's not just about comedy with TikTok. There are other things that happen on the site and the app that concern trends. The ones I've hammered them for would be ones where people championed DV by trying to show their artistic credentials, by make-upping up or using filters to look battered and bruised. James Charles partook in this, and it went down like a lump of lead. It had already gone down like a lump of lead, him adding himself to it. No, that got him into a bit of trouble. Another incident that got people's attention I mentioned in an exhibition of stupid people, where a few TikTokers decided to put on some makeup and filters as if they were victims of the Holocaust. Again, going down like a lump of lead. There are more of these trends, by the way, and they all end the same way. A number of articles will circulate and they get absolutely reamed by the public, and of course the boomers, who are public as well, who don't see the other side of it. Now, I can empathise with what they're trying to do. I really can. But I also am aware of a bigger picture. It's called Optics. The channel Poisoning the Well is hosted by two YouTubers, Fat Pat and Sofane. Sofane has his own channel, Fat Pat does too, but Fane is the one I want to focus on. He made a fantastic video about optics. It wasn't until I saw that video that I was then able to grasp the point of optics. A bigger picture is important, but how one is perceived in the wider scope is important, and online it's quite tricky, because if you only operate online for a bit of fun, but you have a real job, but what you've done online can bleed out and get you fired, one has to be a tad careful. So being involved in certain trends, unless you are predominantly online and have yet to be cancelled, not such a good idea. But that's just me. The more recent trends that have made waves and been in the news have come from TikTok, which does rather annoyingly mean that site is a trendsetter. To add to the list of reasons TikTok has a bad rap, the more notable one isn't the trends. It isn't the more recent incident that we are going to talk about momentarily. it's because of who owns it, where the site has been operated, or the app, the whole company, and the amount of personal information used because of it. That has caused a number of concerns which led to President Trump banning it in the US unless the American wing of it was sold to a company like Microsoft. For the sake of it, it was meant to be Microsoft that bought it, but at the 11th hour, TikTok rejected Microsoft's bid. But fear not, TikTok users. Oracle has won the bid for TikTok. I had no idea, by the way, who Oracle were. Yes. TikTok had claimed, by the way, and this one's a little laughable, that it would never comply with any request to share user data with the Chinese authorities. Does anyone now want to press X to doubt when the Chinese authorities just take it anyway? No offense to China, but they're hardly known for protecting and respecting and valuing human rights. Education, health. That list really does go on, doesn't it? With TikTok now being sold, or the US data wing of it being sold to Oracle, there is now an issue that they will now face Oracle, that is, when it comes to ensuring changes to make sure the service meets the standards set for security, privacy, online safety, combating disinformation. So I'm intrigued to see how they go about it, because they may well end up just, well, doing what every other social media platform does and introduce mass censorship, which would go down like a lump of lead. But with this little thought of censorship in mind, we should now talk about what has happened more recently that has gotten TikTok in yet again a bit more negative press and bad optics. A user who I'm not going to name uploaded to TikTok, well, someone else did on their behalf, a live stream where they did something to themselves where they're no longer here with us. The footage was originally taken down from TikTok. However, quite a lot of users with dummy accounts spent much of Monday re-uploading it, unchanged, but then later incorporated it into bait and switch videos, which are designed to upset unsuspecting users. Now, while you can certainly credit TikTok and their moderators for doing everything they can to ensure these videos aren't re-uploaded, because it goes against their terms of service for clips that promote, glorify, praise suicide, they're not able to get to all of them, and sadly this video is doing its rounds. I'm not going to go looking for it, but you can be sure it's still somewhere and somebody will post it and keep posting it because they can. Which, of course, is tragic. And I could sit here all day saying how important it is to help the family of that person. But for now, I think the focus for TikTok is to find and ensure that video never, ever surfaces. But, as anyone knows, it will, because the internet really is forever. You can really try and delete something, scrub it from the internet. It's like trying to hide John Venables. You really can't. Well, you can in the UK, but you just use a VPN and you find him. It doesn't take a second. The point, though, as is, does still stand. And so even though Facebook, much like TikTok, are doing everything they can to ensure that video doesn't resurface, it will. It always will. But because of what the video has within it, that's what people are going to use to continue, for the sake of bad optics, to tarnish any reputation that TikTok has. One that Oracle now will be taking over in the US and have to do what they can to ensure that app and the data within it is treated with a level of respect and transparency that will then allow it to rebuild, I guess. Not that it needs to rebuild. These incidents really haven't affected TikTok in the bigger picture, have they? Millions upon millions still use it to either make comedic videos, song memes, clumsy content, lazy content, flexing content. Yes, there's a distinct lack of class though. Why is that? I'm too much of a boomer for this, I think. My apologies. With what I've discussed today, I'm very much interested to know what you think. So please do let me know in the comments down below. Last thing, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch tonight. If you're at all interested in watching me do some sneaky murder fun time, the link to my Twitch channel is in the description down below. Have a fantastic Monday. Thank you very much for listening.